Hello. Hello. It is September 26, 2023, and we're here to do some live coding for you. Kind of. But I'm back, baby. As of today, I'm back. See you about tomorrow. I don't know if anyone's here, but that's cool. You know what I'm going to do tonight is a little bit of rebranding. First rebranding thing I'm doing is drinking from my water. Yep, Space Dude's in the chat. What's up? We got Thrive Fox Gaming, Gita, and Space Dude. Okay, so here's the deal. We might get to some streaming, but I've realized, I'm streaming now. We might get to some coding, but I've realized that I need to switch some stuff up. I feel like it's getting stale and I want to switch some stuff up. So first of all, let me ask you guys, like I always do, can you hear me? Can everyone hear me okay? Is the music too loud? Because it's kind of loud for me, but I like it that way. Let me turn it down a little bit. It's getting me pumped up. So here's the deal. I want to change some of the way things look and feel with the stream. I want to make it more fun and more interactive when I'm coding. So there are a few things. If you're not watching on Twitch right now, you should come over to Twitch. I'm going to put the link in the stream. This is the music that I'm playing right now. Copyright free. And this is the stream right now. So come over to Twitch. How do I do this? I don't know. Twitch. Here's a link. Put it in this chat. Everything is fine, Thrive Fox Gaming. Hey, what is that? Okay, hold on. Let me move this around. Xcode just subscribed. Thanks for subscribing, Xcode. What should I start doing for subscribers that's different? I used to always do this picker wheel, but I want to switch that up. Look, I'm switching everything up. Everything's fair game. I got the camera out for the keyboard. I got myself here. I'm just floating around. Oh, dad joke. I kind of wanted to do the push-ups. Oh, is it going to land on drink water? Yes, perfect. Okay, here we go. All right, so can I do a little flex? Can I do a little rich flex for you guys first? I've been looking at this Kaggle competition. It's still early on in the competition, but I just want to flex this. Do a little this. I'm currently in first place. Look at that. Well ahead. Get into this competition if you guys aren't. This will be a fun one. Oh wait, I got to move myself. Got a good gap between me and the next place person. Hey Rob, what's up? What are going on today? We're going to set up, I'm going to totally modify my setup here. That's why I'm kind of floating around here. Let's go onto YouTube and just make sure I'm streaming onto YouTube. Yes. Yes, that's me. That's me. That's me and me on top of me. But okay, let's do some setup. So here's what I'm thinking. I've always had this getting, maybe if I pace myself, can you hear me? Yeah, you guys can hear me when I'm here. So I'm just going to put myself here temporarily, but this has always been like my live coding starting soon. I think I'm going to drop the whole Medallion Stallion brand name. And let's just start over from scratch. Why do I have all this weird stuff on the bottom? We need a new loading screen. Should I get the chat in this? Like, maybe when this is... Can I fade this or something? I saw Rob Mullah's doppelganger. Who saw my... Where? Send me a link. Yo, checking in before you head out. Bogodski, you're running a lot lately. Just throwing that out there. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? We need to change this. So I kind of want to do this. Okay, so you guys can see it. Oh, you can't see it because I'm working on this screen. This text is a little bit too much. 15 miles every other day? That's legit. That's a legit run. That's much more than I can do these days or ever. All right, so my face is not going to be there normally. Let's do sources. Let's change this background. What's a good background I could use? Let's switch over here to this. Okay, so this is kind of like when I'm streaming. Okay. High resolution. What do you guys think? I like this music, by the way. I will try to get to coding at some point here soon. But once we rebrand, I got to completely rebrand. Let's save this to my streaming backgrounds folder and see what this looks like. If I go back to here, streaming backgrounds. Okay, that is really small. What is going on here? 1080p maybe? I feel like some of these are like Windows 95 screensaver. Oh geez, the green theme? What's the green theme? I'll need like a new thing. Hey Brian, thank you for following. Thank you for the follow. Hello there, what am I doing? I'm trying to rebrand. We're doing a rebrand live, Brian. I'm trying to figure out what background to kind of make my brand background. This is very wintry. Is there like a coding? Is that too on point to have like coding in the background of a coding streamer? What code is this here? What type of code is this? Does anyone have any idea? What if I just have this as my loading screen? Coding starting soon. As you can see, this person is coding. I feel like the coffee brand is something people like. Ooh, this is kind of cool. Is this stuff free? Can I actually use this for free or save image as into my backgrounds folders. And then let's go to here. Okay, that did not work. It's an AIF file. What is that? Needs more memes, bruh? All right, so memes, I could do like... This is the test if you can read this down here. There's no place like 127.0.0.1. Ooh, what if I did something like that? What if I open up Sublime and I make a new one? Change it to Python theme. Oh, this could be cool. Hold on. If this will actually work. Import Oh, that got way too big too fast. All right. Would this be a cool background? Print poop. That's your hello world. Oscar, you're nasty. You're nasty in a good way. Okay, so what if I make this really big and screenshot it? Coding with... What about that? What is this music? All right, let's try this out. Screenshot. This might be bad. Save to... All right, going back here. Okay, I'm going to need your guys' help in a few seconds here. That's kind of funny, actually. Properties. I kind of don't want this as a background. I want this as an image. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, so I need to get rid of this follower count. Oh no, not that. Need to get rid of this because we reached our goal. I think I want the stallion to be kind of hidden these days. And then I'm going to make this bigger. If you're just joining, bear with me. I'm just trying to get a new setup. In the long run, it's going to be worth it. I don't know got in my feed, but I do have a lot of interest. Is this in your feed? The anti-corporatists? Rob is a list? Yeah, I don't know. I could be any iterable. Actually, right? This isn't just... I don't have to necessarily be a list in this. Like, in this... I could be any iterable. I could be a tuple. I don't know if this makes any sense or is it fun. I also don't like that it's not very centered. Okay. So then when I go, so usually when I go from that loading screen, then it's on to just me. What is this background? I need to remove this background. I don't need that for this theme. What if I do something like... Milky Way stars. Can I download a high resolution? I need to sign in. Let me download. No, wait, I wanted the high resolution one. And I don't want to open it in editor. Oh, that's another one. Download high res. Okay. Milky Way. Move this into my streaming folder. Okay. Get a background. Browse here to Milky Way. And copy this over here. Ah! That's a really... It seems like it's zoomed in or something. Yeah, it's just a big photo. There we go. There we go. Now I feel like I'm the guy from Hello, My Future Girlfriends. Does anyone know what that is? Hello, my future girlfriend. This GeoCities website from back in the day. Hello, my future girlfriend website. I'm pretty sure the background. Oh no, it was a background like had this theme. If you come here, it must be because you meet me in Yahoo Chat. If you kids don't know about this meme from back in the day, please look up Hello, My Future Girlfriend. I'm going to stick with the space stuff for now. What if I... Oh, look, I'm hiding behind there. Okay, this is my opening. This is it. Cyberpunk aesthetic. Have Midjourney or Stable Diffusion generate a new background for me. Good idea. Maybe we could try that. I don't know. This space thing, maybe I'm not feeling it. I need something more crisp. Something more crisp. Hey, Rob, it's been so long. Yeah, we're going to get back into it tonight. Whoa. Whoa, this song is intense. Skipped. I almost want it to be like brighter. So searching dark background. Colorful? Colorful and welcoming. I kind of like this party one. No, too much fireworks. What do you guys think? Oh no, it has an iStock image on it. That'll make a fine piece of my collection. Cat Jam? Oh no. OMG, hi, you're back. Yes, I am back. I hope you're well. Who's the den? And what is the den? This is the den. This is the den, what you're watching me on. It's the streaming den. VMs have Samurai Dodge. What is that? All my PCs and VMs. Oh, okay. Samurai. Samurai Doge. Like this? That's pretty cool. Codes Warrior. No, this is not going to work. Hey, what if I go like this? Oh, this stuff costs money. That's where they get you. That's where they get you. I'm not moving on until I find something I like. This? Yeah, these are all going to cost money because they're Shutterstock. Is it too much to ask for to have everything be free for me? Okay, I'm sticking with the stars for now. All right, background's not that big of a deal. Now let's get into the aesthetics of this. I got this keyboard camera. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to have the keyboard cam, yay or nay? Does this... I feel like it's kind of cool. I don't want to brag. I don't want to brag, but it's pretty cool. This is where I get most of my friends, is from them knowing that I have a keyboard cam. Ah, that fell off. Okay. Hello. Let's go. Let's go. There we go. How do you know I'm really coding? How do you know I'm not just faking it unless I have a keyboard cam? Now this thing wobbles. And it needs to be higher. Jerry rigging time. Why did they make this thing so wobbly? Probably because it's not designed for what I'm trying to do. Okay, there we go. That's at least going to work for now. Stallion, I'm glad to catch the stream. I missed you. Thanks. This isn't too exciting of a one, but I'm just getting things set up. Now I need those of you who's are watching on Twitch. Dude, come join. Now here's the deal. I need some people to help vote. Which camera am I using? This one up here is just like a webcam, a Logitech webcam. This one over here is my wife's Canon 77D, which actually doesn't work too well for streaming for some reason. Because it lowers the resolution. So I need to buy a new camera. What camera do you guys think I should get? She's asked me to stop using hers. All right. Now let's just get some coding over here. So we can test out what this would look like. So where does the code go? How big does the code need to be so that you guys can see it? Now that wasn't a good idea. How wide? Here's the problem is, where does this go? Do I do this wider? Not gonna lie, I like having that YouTube play button in the background. Oh, this shoulder. What's pexilus? Pexilus? What are you guys saying? Oh, send me a good background if you guys find it, and don't troll me. All right, my head is way too big here. Let's crop this end. What if I crop this out? Is that too big? I still feel like that's a good amount of coding space. So I got to move this over. Where does the chat go? Where does the chat go then? I thought it looked great, but I'd say a Sony Alpha 7. Yeah, people have said Sony Alpha 7. I was also looking at this Sony camera that's meant for video recording. That's a, I don't know, VX maybe? Whoa, is this really that delayed? The YouTube? Oh, no, it's because I just rewinded. All right, let's actually get to some coding here and see if this works in a second. Well, last thing I need to check out here is, all right, so that's if I'm coding with my terminal. What about moving this guy? This little guy maybe to that corner. I wish this was a little bit more aligned. Here we go. Jump to live and see how this is going. Is this an okay coding setup? All right, I'm going to bring up a new terminal. This thing's too wobbly. Now is what I need you guys to test. I need some help testing this. So I think if we go to the Twitch chat, you should now be able to try text to speech. Use ratings to find the camera. Trust me, I have. I've watched so many videos and tried to figure it out, but I get so overwhelmed. Elusive Peach, it's been so long. I didn't know that was you asking that question earlier. Okay, so can someone try going to this using these things? I cannot share my own channel. Okay, so I think you need to go to these. If anyone has channel points, and try text to speech. Testing text to speech. Oh, it's so quiet. But I could hear it. Could you guys hear it? Could you guys hear text to speech? Properties. You can control the audio inside OBS. Yeah, so here I am in OBS. Thing is, I can only test it once because I gave myself a limit. Why is my whole computer slow right now? All right, so here's the text to speech, I think. Add TTS to here because it wasn't there. Let's mute the music. Mute this music. What are you guys saying? Hey, Rob, it's been a long time. Hey, Yusuf, welcome back. Oh, what screen am I on? This is just a cluster. This stream. Okay, so I'm going to try my best to get text to speech to work. And this has been a pain point for me for many years. Properties. We have this. Control audio via OBS. So I kind of need this. So I set this up in this little setting mode. Properties. Here, go to this site. Go to here. My dashboard. Turn off this dark theme. TTS limit. Okay. Rewards, text to speech. Test it. Will it let me test? Read username, add features. No, go back. What's so quiet? Go to dashboard. Hey, what just happened there? What happened? What happened? Oh, Yusuf just gifted a bunch of subs. Thank you. Thank you for gifting 2 subs for this horrible, horrible stream. That's very nice of you. Now, can you test out the text to speech? Can anyone go here, try this? Text to speech, test. Oh, it's saying I have a cooldown period. So I think I need to go to this. Back to Twitch. Oh my goodness. Creator dashboard. Viewer rewards. Channel points. Manage rewards and challenges. Text to speech. I'm going to edit this. I'm going to take off the cooldown. And then I'm going to test the text to speech. Okay, I could hear that. Could you guys hear that? Hear what? Oh, wait. So you couldn't hear it? No? Oh, man. I can hear someone saying it. But you guys can't. What if I did this? So I'm going to go to, not filters. Man, I feel like I'm in a time warp when I bring this up. Audio mixer. It's because my desktop audio, it goes through my desktop. Maybe I muted the output. Okay, I'm going to do one, a longer one. Here is a really, really long message. Let's go. Try this a bunch of times.
Here is a really, really long message. Let's go. Here is a really, really long message. Let's go. Here is a really, really long message. Let's go.
It is
Here is a
Hitman.
really, really long message. Let's go.
Hey. Could you hear that? Could you guys hear that? Can anyone confirm? I'm going to have to do it again.
Now you're a real streamer.
Now I'm a real... Yes, we can hear you. So the thing is, when I do
Yes, we can
that...
hear, yes, we can hear.
Yes, we can hear. Yes, we can hear. All right, try more. Try spamming as much as you can if possible. Try this again. Now here's a question.
Long message. Let's go.
I'm going to let this one go.
Really long message. Let's go.
And then if I play the music, watch out because it might be really loud.
Here is a really long message. Let's
So I think on here I need to actually lower the volume.
Let's go.
Right? I hear it. Do you hear the music and the TTS? Are they equal volume?
Here is a really long message. Let's go. Here is a really long message. Let's go. Here is a really long
Okay,
message.
so music is loud. TTS is
really long message. Let's go. Here is a really long message. Let's go. Here is a really long message. Let's go. Here is a
It's like
really long message. Let's go.
I have like the music as low as possible. It's great now. Okay. Keyboard. Oh, whoa. My volume is loud in my ears. So you're saying the keyboard camera needs to be reversed? If it's mirrored, then it's... Oh, yeah. It is wrong. All right, so let's flip this. Let's flip this. Thank you. This is why I'm doing this live. Transform. Flip horizontal. Does that look better? Does that look a little bit better? Much better. That makes sense. Yeah. I can't believe I didn't even notice it was mirrored. Okay, so the last thing to do to figure out is like, where does this chat stuff go? Do I just remove it altogether? Does the chat need to be big or small? Do I need to get smaller? Is that what she said? All right, so more TTS just to make sure. The other thing is this TTS feature. I think I can change the voices. Right now it's Brian. There's also like AI text to speech. Michael Scott, I tried to add earlier, but
this is a test message. The voice is probably not the same, but that's because this is just a demo.
So this one costs bits. But that seems like a little much. Can I make it 0 bits? Can make it 5. Volume. Let's pump the volume up. Maybe that would help. Yeah, turn the volume up on both of these. Now if I try...
Hello. Welcome to the Cool Kids stream where we have TTS. We are so hip and so cool. Hello. Welcome to the Cool Kids stream where we have TTS. We are so hip and so cool. Hello. Welcome
so
to the
hip
Cool
and
Kids
so
stream where we
cool.
have TTS. We are so hip and so cool.
So cool. I think that's working. Is it working? Sounds good, says Xcode. Okay. I guess we can do some other stuff. Now that that's over. Now that I feel situated in my new environment, move this over still a little bit. This is always still going to bother me. This down. There we go. I don't know why this is here. I can get rid of it. Oh, wait. We still haven't figured out where the chat goes. So. Right. Wild true print hoop where it is. That's a good one. Okay. Come on. Why is this? Geez. Okay. Chat can go. I think I need to make myself smaller. Maybe a little wider. Change the properties of this to make it wider. What do you guys think about this? I feel like you don't need chat on the screen. That's just my opinion. Okay, Jared, I like that opinion. I like opinions. It's better than just emptiness. One of the reasons why I like the chat on the screen, though, if I stream to both YouTube and Twitch at the same time, then people know what's going on. Probably don't need this keyboard as much, too. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe people don't care, but I feel like it lets the chat at least see on the screen what else is going on. Feedback, people. I want feedback. My opinion is the keyboard is less necessary than the chat. Yeah, the thing is it's so wide that either I remove it entirely or maybe I can do this. Make this a little taller. Keyboard is unnecessary, I guess. Yeah, the only thing the keyboard's necessary for is making me feel super cool. Also, I need to figure out how to make it less wobbly. Because right now, I wish I could turn around the camera so you could see it. But I have this little like wobbly extension arm. Okay, so everyone's saying the keyboard is not necessary. Man. Okay, so I'm gonna listen to what you guys say. What if I make the keyboard just small, like right here? And I make this like so then the chat can be bigger. Let's make the background just totally dark. Ooh, what's this little thin? What is this? The crap? What is this? It's the second one of the cameras? I didn't even realize I had this. Is that better? LOL. I'm fine with that spot too. Okay. People are liking it. Let's make this a little bit taller. Ace Gaming, you liking this? All right. All right, what are we going to do now? Yeah, bro? You like it? Okay, cool. We need to have a little bit more even lines here. What about the stallion? Do you got, this is like the OG stallion. All right, we tested TTS. I have this new setup with the keyboard here. Keyboard almost needs to be like nowhere. Covering up the play button. Oh, on YouTube? Which play button? Oh, yeah, the YouTube play button. Good point. I'm going to put it down here. Order it. Move to top. Guys, we're doing this as a community. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about this. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit crisper and cleaner. In IRL? Yeah, I didn't put that together. I was thinking like you were watching on the stream and you saw the little YouTube play button. Okay. All right, so let's get into some actual coding now. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate my Kaggle 23 Conda environment. I want to make some sort of a tutorial for using matplotlib and for data viz. All right, so just so I get an idea in the chat, let's do a little bit of a survey. New poll. How much coding experience do you have? Less than one. Wait, none? Less than 1 year? Less than 5 years? Let's say 3. Less than 5 years? Or greater than 5 years? All right, this poll is in the chat on Twitch if you are on Twitch. I want to see what people have done. Okay, 0. One person with 0, one with less than a year. Less than 5. I'm in slightly over the 5. Plus 5, I think. But barely. No, maybe a little bit more. All right, so it seems like we got a diverse audience here. Less than 3 is a good bit. So what I want to do is maybe do some data exploration of this Kaggle dataset. And we could do this one of two ways. Let me know in chat what you prefer. I can do this locally on a notebook, or we can do this on a Kaggle notebook. The nice part about the Kaggle notebook is I could share it with you guys afterwards, but the user interface 25 in many, or I think you mean May. 25 years. Okay, so Pure Science knows what's up. Small sample size bias. Yeah, but it is a small group, so we're sampling the group. Seaborn and Plotly too. Yeah, let's do Seaborn, Plotly, Matplotlib. So I'm just going to do this locally if that's okay. So there's this new competition that came out. It's for forecasting the price movements on the NASDAQ listed stocks. The auction can be used to adjust prices, assess supply and demand dynamics. I don't know much about this competition, but I do know it has some data here, which I can download.
I'm working on a portfolio website where I could put all my data science projects. Do you guys have any advice? What kind of project should I focus on to find a job? Smile.
Yusuf, we get this question a lot, and my answer usually is work on a project that you enjoy. Because when you're being interviewed and they ask you about the project, if they can tell that you're excited about it, they're going to feel that. They're going to notice it. I know I have when interviewing people. So pick something that you're really interested in, and then it's kind of twofold, right? Then you're more likely to have good results with a company that is doing stuff that you're interested in or is similar to what you're interested in. So what do you like? When I was in grad school, we did a lot of data science projects to boost our portfolios, and I really like sports, specifically the NFL. So I did a lot of projects that were based around that, like we pulled all the Reddit threads from the NFL subreddit and did some like NLP analysis of that. Pure Electricist says, that's how I got my first data science job. Talked about a home project I did. Yeah, there you go. So that would be my suggestion.
Like
you do like soccer? Go for it. Find a good soccer data set. Hey, you know what? What kind of soccer do you like, Yusuf? Because we don't have to look at this data. Actually, soccer data might be more interesting. Premier League. I don't know that much about soccer, but tell me if any of these data sets look interesting to you. Premier League, I guess, is cricket. European soccer database. These are all pretty old. Let's click on football. FIFA soccer ratings.
Premier League is England Soccer League. It is interesting.
Premier League. Okay, yeah. Premier League football. Let's see what this data set looks like. This person uploaded data set contains data for the last 10 seasons of English Premier League, including the current season, but that was 3 years ago. Updated 3 years. Let's see if there's a more recent one. There's a last 90 days. This one's from 6 days ago. Data available for the English Premier League only. It holds relevant understat.com data for all seasons from 2014 to present for all players, teams they play for. Maybe this is a good data set to start with. Okay, so they showed how they scraped the data. That's cool. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to try to download this. And then we'll do some data analysis. Maybe this is one I can make a YouTube video about. So, data card. I thought there would be that data downloading. Oh, version 138. Make sure we give this an upvote. I can just download it straight up. And then let's go into this repo directory and move this move 066 coding den testing to 066. We're going to call this EPL data analysis. And then we are going to go into here, which is going to yell at us because now we've moved the folder name. There we go. I think we need to delete this one. Okay, so now we need to move that data into this directory. So if I go in here and then I move from my downloads folder, I think it was called archive 01. If I unzip this archive, yeah, now we got all the data. We'll remove that zip file so it's no longer in here. And now we'll look over here in our Jupyter environment. I think if I refresh this, we won't see archive anymore. There we go. All right, so this is the README document. Relevant data from understat.com. Have you guys ever looked at understat.com? Let's get my chat over here. Good morning, Lopta. Welcome. Hey, Samer in Pure Science. All right, we're going to look at Premier League data. First, I'm going to look at understat.com. All right, this looks pretty cool. Expected goals is the new revolutionary football metric, which allows you to evaluate team and player performance. In a low-scoring game such as football, yeah, so my experience with watching football was the World Cup many years ago and watching the U.S. play a full game and the score ending up 0-0. So I know that feeling of watching low-scoring games. Our goal, pun intended, is to create the most precise method shot quality evaluation. All right, but let's see what data they have. If I click on a game.
This is great. It's 4 a.m. here in France. Ha ha.
4 a.m. Yusuf. I love the text to speech. That's working well. All right, so I hope you woke up early instead of you're going to bed late. Because 4 a.m., you got to get your sleep. Okay, so the results of the poll, most people in here have been coding for less than 3 years. So I don't know, we can teach each other stuff. But there are a few people here who haven't been coding very long. And yeah, we're gonna look at this EPL data. So first thing we can do is we can kind of just visualize through each folder what we're working with. All right, so and it looks like we have some data. No, this is not going to work. Real estate essentials. Midnight Vibes. That sounds good. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and get an idea for the data we have. We have player data, season data, and team data. Only goes to the 2019 season. I thought it said it was up until recent. They lied to us. So we can use glob to just get a list of all of our files. So if we go into data, star, we know that there's a subdirectory, right? And then there's CSVs inside there. So our star is just going to be like a holding pattern. It'll find anything in this file structure. So it's actually data star, and then the file name. So these are all of our files. We could also, if we say we want to just do, let's start with team data. We make that a list called team files. All right, so it looks like we have, with the team files, we have, so this seems like it's a common thing that we do a lot. We have a bunch of CSVs. That's kind of like, instead of having a database where these would just be flagged with a different column with the team name, you have files for each team name. So we need to do some parsing. Yeah, every team has its own CSV file. So what we can do here is, there's a bunch of different things we can do, but let's just, just to get an idea of what this files look like, let's load the first one as our example file, and then we're going to use pandas to read in this file. So we're going to read a CSV of this example file. We're going to call this df for data frame. And let's go ahead and run a head on this. So GW, I'm guessing this is the game number. We kind of need a data dictionary or something. GW. Game week. Okay, cool. GW is game week. Date is the date it was played. Result is if they lost, drew, or won. Home and away. This XG, I think, is this metric that they created. Expected goals. Scored. Conceded. So that's how many scored against them. Points. PPA allowed. Deep allowed. And then I'm not quite sure with this PPDA. Yeah, it kind of stinks not having a data dictionary. But maybe looking at individual players will give us a little more data to look at. Yeah, definitely needs a data dictionary. So we can kind of make assumptions about this, but this is pretty small data. So 5 rows, because they only played, do they only play 5 games in a season? Let's look at the next one. Yeah, the next one also has 5. I have no idea what these other metrics mean. Okay, so I think this is the stuff that they're using in order to calculate their expected points. but this one looks like it's a little different. Now, the thing we need to do here in order to really run some analysis on all these files is we need to concatenate them together. We need some sort of way to process them. So just because we're in the team files already, let's go here and let's say we iterate over each of these and we have a function that takes in a team file name. We're going to make a function called process file. Right now it's not doing anything. But if we run on our example file, this will do absolutely nothing, but we need to parse this example file. So we could use regex to extract this out, but it looks like if we just do a split, since this is a string, on a backslash, and then we take, so what that will do is split anytime there's a backslash, which is the directory structure, and we do -1. Now we have just the file name. Lapta, why are you going away now? Stay. It should be 38 GW, 38 game weeks. You're running head. Okay, so you're right, 38. I'm an idiot. It's still small though. But yes, fair point. Thank you guys for pointing that out. So we're going to parse each of these, and let's just assume that all of them also have an underscore. And if we split this out, it's going to be the team name, season, and then let's just do an underscore, which we use a lot of times to represent just something we want to throw away, which is this season data.csv, because we don't care about that. Now if I run print team name season, and we do this in our function, and this should be the team file now. Need that E in team file. Now we're printing, let's do this as an F string, running for team name, and season, and then we're going to print the season. So we've successfully parsed this file, and we can also read in as a data frame that file name. So let's do this up here. Let's also add a little doc string. So we're gonna, we've already extracted the name and the season. We're gonna return a data frame with the season data, including team name and season as a column. So we could also show here that data is of shape, and then we can do the df shape to show that here. So now we see we're running for this team, West Ham, which I'm assuming is like a food that they eat in the English Premier League. No, West Ham, their season 2014, and data is of the shape 3819. Oh yeah, what does the -1 mean? Yes, it selects the last item in the list. So let's remember here, like if we look at team files, which we loaded in using glob, this is of type. If we run a type on it, we can see it's a list. In Python, there's really like a handful of base objects that you're using, a list is one of them. Some cool things you can do with lists are like slicing. So we could just take the first 10 by doing this colon and then 10. Or we could take any element in the list, remembering that Python starts with 0. Indexing starts at 0. So 0 would give us the first item. -1 would give us the last. And then we have all these other operators we can do off of lists, like insert, pop. So we could sort it. We can count it. But we can also do things like run the length on the list. And when we get the element in the list, the type of this is a string. So when we took this string element and then run split on it, that converted this string into another list. When we took -1 on this, it pulls just this last item in the list. So that's what we did right there. All right, so we're running for that team name this season, and we know the data shape. Now we want to take this data frame, and since the data frame itself does not have a team name or a season column, and we're going to eventually concatenate these all together, we're going to assign, I mean, there's a few ways we could do this. We could just do team name like this. That's one way to do it. So we could just add this here. Or we could, instead of doing it that way, which would add columns to the data frame, we could use assign. And then we could do team name equals team name. And that will create a new column. I think we can just do multiple runs, right? Season equals season. Now, one thing I'm going to load here too is I'm going to import Jupyter Black, which is an extension for Jupyter, which will automatically run Black formatting. Do I not have this installed in this Conda environment? That needs a T, that's why. Any performance differences using assign the other way of creating the column? For maybe, but with this data size, it doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter at all. It shouldn't cross your mind as being that big of a concern because it's so small. The main reason they like to use this assign, which I actually prefer, mainly have been using this other way of assigning, but trying to move to using it this way, is because then you can chain commands better. I don't know. So let's return this data frame in this function. So we're now assigning the team name here, West Ham, and we have the season. Yeah, but that's a good question about the performance thing. I think usually those sort of things are pretty similar. Water break. All right, so we know what this function does. It returns this data frame with all the information we need it. We can also add like verbose. It's kind of a nice thing to do to when you have these print statements, is to add them under a verbose argument, where by default this will be false, but if you're debugging, you can set this to true. So now if we set verbose, and let's make the out of this equals true, we would see this this printed statement, but we're going to loop over a bunch of these, so we probably want this to be false. Now, this is something we do a lot, is we take these data frames and we just run over these. We loop over these team files. And we're going to append it to another list, which is called DFS, or data frames, for file and team files. And then we could create this data frame using our function, which is process file on this file. And then we can take DFS and append each data frame. Now, the one thing about running this, and this is probably going to all happen very quickly, but I like importing TQDM, because then we have a nice little progress bar that tells us how long it's taking as we run this. Yeah, let's just do this to show you. Yeah, so it's super fast, less than a second just to run. But now we have, if we look at this DFS, we have a list of data frames. We have 120 of them. And if we take DFS, and if we have a list of data frames like this, we can use PD concat to concatenate these data frames all together. Now you notice that the index of this is going to repeat then, because we've just stacked a bunch of data frames on top of each other. Like if we look at here at index number 35, 36, 37, then it jumps back to 0. And it's kind of nice to have these indexes unique for our data set. So I will drop that index and we'll just make this like our team data frame. All right, so to put it all together, now we have our team data frame. We haven't even done any visualization yet. So our data viz packages are going to be matplotlib, import seaborn as SNS, and then we'll import plotly express as PX. These are like the main ones that you use for data viz. So now we have our team data frame. What can we... This is the expected goals and expected goals against. So let's do a scatter plot of these. So let's do plot where X. So the nice thing about pandas data frames is we can just run a plot very easily off of the data frame without having to use matplotlib necessarily from scratch. We just can make this plot. But it will return a matplotlib subplot. So another thing I like to do is actually make this subplot first with matplotlib, and then provide that to the plot that pandas is creating. Now matplotlib is a little funny because when you're creating a plot with matplotlib, you're actually creating a figure and then an axis within that figure. Now the reason why you might want to, why there's a differentiation between the figure and the axis is because you could actually have multiple different axes in the same plot. So here now we have a plot on the one figure, and let's make this a little bit less tall. one figure with two axes. And I did that by using the subplots, which allows us to give a number of rows and columns. So we could do like a 5x5 grid of plots. And then we need to flatten them. Yeah, this needs to be axes. Yeah, so you can do stuff like this. Also like to run tight layout, which will kind of add space between them and show. So let's make a big grid that shows us the different teams and their expected goals versus expected goals against, just to see if there's visually any clear difference between the teams. So, as an example, let's just see a value counts on the team name. Yeah, so because isn't this because some teams are like relegated or they go down and up in the English Premier League? So we won't have the same amount of data per team. So we'll have to keep that in mind. But what if we just do these top ones? Top 10. Top 10 is nice because most of them are 228, so they're in every season. All right, so now we have a subset of teams. It's 10 of them. So we can do like a 5x2. I don't know. All right, so team expected goals versus expected goals against. And we're going to put a title here on the top of the figure. And then we're going to go for, we're going to loop over these axes. We're going to keep an index location. And we'll query in this data frame where the team name equals this my team, which will be the index location in this subset list. And we'll do this plot in that axis location. This should not be I, it should be IDX. All right, so the other thing I need to do is make sure I don't show this plot before we're done adding all of our data into each axis. And maybe for each one, now this doesn't look too interesting, like very similar, but I think also think 3x3 will give us 9 teams. And it might look a little cleaner. And let's set the title of each of these to be the team name. So we can see it. Arsenal, Liverpool, West Hamilton, Southampton. It might be cool to actually plot the actual goals against, although there's going to be a lot of over. Just got on Coding Den. Yeah, that was just my way of explaining, just saying that I was mixing up my my layout in my coding stream. So do you notice that it's different, Braxton? What's the shortcut to see all available methods of a function in Jupyter? So if you're in any object in Jupyter, and this I use all the time, like my team is a string, right? It's just going to show us the last one of this because it went over this loop. If you do like a dot syntax on it and hit tab, you guys see how I hit tab? Then you get all the different functions you can run off of that, or methods. So like title, we'll make it in the setup it already is. Lower, we'll make it lowercase. We can make this uppercase. We can strip out any spaces or like the trailing E. But yeah, you can see all those methods in Jupyter just by hitting tab afterwards. Or like this data frame.
Google Colab.
It's very similar to Google Colab. So Colab is just running a Jupyter environment. Let's open up Colab. I'm not sure though if the tab. So if I go import pandas as PD in this Colab, it's going to load up a environment, and I think some of the the tab stuff doesn't work in this the same way. Right? There is. So if I do my list and I do tab on it, it's just going to actually tab over. So that's one thing about the Jupyter Lab environment that I do like. What about my Vim setup? My Vim setup, kind of off topic, but my Vim setup is all in here. I think it's, here. I have my Twitch, or I have my GitHub repo with how I set up Vim. This is my Vim RC. I copied it from something out there and I changed it a little bit. Prod by Prodigy, welcome to the chat. But yeah, I just sent you the link to it. All right, so yeah, I do really like this tab completion in Jupyter. It's one of my faves. All right, so do we see any differences between these teams? Not that much. If we look at this team data frame too, I mean, we could look for some time series. Since we have this date, can make this into a date. Group by the team name.
What if we put XGA in a different color?
What if we put XGA in a different color? Well, we can't really put them in this different color because this is a scatter plot, so we only have one point, right? So like that, there is no differentiation between XGA and XG for these dots because a dot represents the difference between the two. But one thing we could do is I'm noticing that this looks a little bit more the same between teams, possibly because we have them all scaled separately. So it looks like the highest value can be 6. And maybe what we want to do is set the X limit from 0 to 6 and set the Y limit from 0 to 6. Potentially what this will do is show us a little bit of deviation. There we go. So it was just playing some tricks on us because we weren't scaling everything the same. So what does this mean? If their expected goals is more to the right, that means they're like a better team. Is Manchester City a better team generally in the Premier League? We could also color or a more offensive team. Yeah. So not necessarily better, but it looks like their expected goals against is also a lot less. Okay. So yeah, so we can, I don't know that much about football, soccer football, but we can tell just from this plot that Manchester City is a little bit different. They're a little bit skewed this way. Now there's another type of plot that I like using a lot, which would be either a histogram or a density plot. So this is the expected goals throughout for all of the teams. But we could also do, instead of a kind hist, we could do a KDE, which is a kernel density plot, which gives us a little line like that. And then we could loop over each team really and do it like a group by team ID and take their expected goals. This might not be too pretty. Oh, not team ID, team name. I'm used to working with a data set that had team IDs. And get some music. Get some music rolling. All right, so this shows one line for each team. And we can kind of see like which teams are more offensive. Also, some of these are bimodal, meaning that potentially like one season they had a lot less expected goals than the other season. I'm not sure if the season is the reason why or if it's their opponent changes their expected goals. But let's also just get some summary stats. So if we group by the team name, we take their expected goals, and we just look at the average expected goals per team and sort these values. And do ascending equals false. I think we know who's going to be at the top here. Manchester City. So look at this gap. between it. We could just do a bar plot. Just to visualize this. Is this team really that much better than all the others? Or that much more offensive than the others? Looks like a geometric distribution or Poisson. Yeah. But this is just the, so what we're looking at here is just the average value. So if we look at each of these distributions and like draw a line where the average is, we're just making a bar for it. But with the density plot, we can kind of see the distributions. It's a little bit too much to see on one plot. But what might be cool is if we make all of these gray, make all of these gray, and then we take Manchester City and we color them as something that'll stand out, like orange. And then we say, Manchester. I don't know if this will work because it's going to probably be each of these lines is going to be its own. So it's kind of annoying to make this legend. But let's set a title here. All right, expected goals by team. So these are all the other teams, and this is Manchester City kind of over here to the right. Interesting, right? They're kind of like an outlier. They're the big boys. All right, so some other things with Seaborn that we can do is just like there's a lot of just standard statistical plots that you can do with Seaborn. So if we want to do a histogram, we could do that with this. If we want to do something like a box plot, we can just get our team data frame. We can make the X axis the team name, and the Y axis is expected goals. Now we have, and it's hard to see here because the names, but if we make it the opposite way, now we can see a box plot with each team showing a box plot of their distribution. It's kind of similar to this, but not all stacked on top of each other. Right? They won the league 7 times in the last 12 years. Okay, so they're the New England Patriots from the prior decade. That's Manchester. Although this data set only goes to 2018. So if they've won recently, okay, 2019. If they've won recently, it's not going to be included in here. Other cool plots you can do with with Seaborn, you can just do like a scatter plot. Similar to what we had before, but you can actually do a reg plot, which will show like a regression line This isn't really a linear relationship as much, so it's not as interesting, but many times it can be. And histogram. Okay, so if you want to do a interactive plots, we can do that with Plotly Express. So a lot of the same plots you can do with Matplotlib, you can do with Plotly Express, but make them a little more interactive. So we can do this by doing expected goals, XGA. All right, now, so the cool thing about this all right, so you can kind of hover around, and then you can see the actual values. You can zoom in, you can double click to zoom out. There's a lot of different coloring and prettification that you can do to this stuff that I'm not showing. Hey man, it's very important what you do. Don't stop at good luck. Thank you. How's he getting those parameters after the parentheses? What do you mean? Parameters after the parentheses. Oh, this is, oh, okay. So what I'm doing here, and I showed this before, this is why I love Jupyter Lab. We were showing before that you can do like a dot syntax and just hit tab here and you see all the different functions you can run. The other thing you can do is like, if you have a method that you want to run or a function, you can hold down shift and hit tab and see the doc string for this. So this shows the documentation for this method. If you don't want to have to go look it up, you can just kind of scroll through and remember what all the parameters are in this. Right? You could also, yeah.
What if we use a different metrics other than XG and SCA?
Yeah, definitely there would be a lot cooler things we could look at than just these two, but they're the two continuous variables in this data set that I understand what they mean. So, yeah, I'm not sure what these other things mean. Hello from Mexico. Raul, what up? What up? Thanks for joining. We're just exploring some data. Yeah, so I don't know. Do you understand any of these other parameters that would be interesting? I don't know what the NPXGD. The thing about looking at the goals too is like, if we look at scored versus conceded, and of course we're going to have like the mirror image row of each games. We should have like, you're going to have one where it's against another team, the row of everything reversed because it's just for the other team. But if we do this value counts on this, we could see that most of these games, probably should divide this number by 2 because of what I was just saying, but 242 of these games ended in 1-1, 191 in 0-1, and then this is like the reverse, right? So I don't know what this blank 2 is. Is that 0-2? Just didn't fill it in. These are integers, so I'm not sure why this is blank. Do you guys know what scoregami is? Scoregami. It's like in the NFL, they track what scores have never occurred in a game before. This weekend, we had 2 scoregamis. Interesting that you could help train a model to give you stakes for future Premier League games. Yeah, I don't know how much just this raw data is going to help us predict. Very powerful. But yeah, so scoregami is like looking at when these scores have never occurred before. So colorblind mode, gradient. So this kind of shows you in NFL. Blue Sky Lotus, welcome. Do you like the TV show White Lotus? Is that what your name's after? Sure, it's not. So you can see like the scores that are really common and which ones aren't. We had this 70-20 score this weekend, which was a scoregami because it never occurred before that game. But we could do a similar thing here. That's essentially what we're doing here is like a scoregami of these games. Obviously 1-1 has happened a lot. Can we make a scoregami? We should be able to do this pretty easily. By doing a value counts, unstack, right? Yeah, this is basically scoregami right here. I think we need to transpose it to make it look like this. Because this has 0, 0 in the bottom left corner. And this has 0, 0 in the top left. So if we do sort index, ascending equals false. Yeah, now we basically have a scoregami. And then if we do, okay, so this is a cool thing that Seaborn has built in. How do I spell scoregami? EPL, scoregami, which I'm going to call this. Seaborn has this heat map, which actually makes like a very similar looking heat map to this. Okay, so let me think. Why did they black out the bottom left? Okay, so 0, 0 is actually on the top right. So I had that wrong. So basically we want to transpose this. Yeah, and then we have it blank in the bottom left. And we should want to black out these bottom lefts. But we can see gaps here where the value is 0. Are these 0? No, these are really high. So null values. We can add a gradient. We can add a different color. So we can go to Seaborn, color palettes, heat map. And choose a different one. So we can choose something like rocket. So I think you do this C map. All right, so rocket is like the one that we're using so far. Mako. I want to use one where it's not white for the high numbers. Flare. Yeah, so now we can clearly see where the gaps are. So there has not been in this data set a 4-4 game or a 0 to 7 game. Let's see if there's EPL scoregami. Scoregami EPL. Yeah, someone's done it. Oh, this is it. This is their scoregami. So yeah, they don't have a 7 to 0 game either. They don't have a 5 to 0. Oh, I guess a home and away. Oh, we didn't do home and away. Yeah, to truly be scoregami, we didn't need home and away. Yeah, I Google things every 10 minutes while coding. Yeah. More recently, I've been just chat GPTing or LLMing all my questions. But yeah, this is pretty cool, right? So this is like an introduction to data visualization using this EPL dataset. We only looked at the team data. Now, I think the interesting stuff, probably more interesting stuff, would come if we actually look at the player data, because then we could actually pull out some information about each player. I think we had... Let's see what player files we have. Whole season data? All right, let's try to load in this last one. All right, so you have a player. Okay, so it's just going to be, is it going to be one row per player? Oh! Grizzly Bear, you scared me. Thank you for following. Is that as loud as it is for you guys? Woo! Oh, we had this quiet music on, and you scared the crap out of me. All right, so this is one row per player. It'd be cool if they had... Yeah, I need to figure out that volume. The whoop, there it is. Thanks for following, though. Position, yellow cards, red cards. Oh, so we could see which player has the most red cards. Ascending equals false. All right, who's the baddest boy in all of Premier League soccer? Victor Wanyama. This guy likes to get in trouble on the soccer field. Does it say something about his red cards? Nope. I guess he's not really known for it. It's just... Is 3 red cards a lot? Seems like a lot. And we do need more recent data. Make this a little bit more interesting. Worth it. Thanks, Grizzly Bear. All right, yeah, so that's all I got for right now. And well, look at this new setup. Can someone do the TTS? Let's see if the TTS works. If you're not watching on Twitch, you should be joining us over here.
Twitch is the place to be.
Oh, yeah. Anything else before we go? No.
Amazing work.
Hey, thanks, Yusuf. I hope it's not too late for you where you are. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out tonight. Going to get more into streaming now, especially since the setup. Look how beautiful this is. Look how beautiful this is. Like, we gotta keep this up. I might start doing streams during my daytime, which would be like a totally different time zone for some of you. But yeah, we're going to figure it out. Just a random question. How should one proceed after watching a tutorial on AI, MLDS, like how to expand it into some kind of project worthy of showcasing? Really tough question. I mean, that's where you just need to be kind of creative with it and apply it maybe to a different data set or take it a step further. Like if they're making a model, show you how to make a model that can detect, I don't know, some sort of event or try to predict flight delays given a data set. Try to take that and expand it out to predict, something on a completely different data set, or I don't know, use that technique on something that hasn't been used before. Do something novel, and that will make you stand out, I think. But really getting into the interview is the hardest part. And then once you're at that point, you want to be showcasing your work in a way that shows you're excited about it. So if you're working on a project that you're excited about, that's going to make you stand out, I think, more so than like technically doing something that's extremely tough. If you want to go that route, just try to compete, just start competing in Kaggle competitions. It's really intense. Rob, do you have any videos about handling models with CPU/GPU implementations? So most of the modeling with PyTorch or with TensorFlow is going to be trained on a GPU. So yes, I don't know if I have any specific videos on that, but that could be something that I create some of. I've always thought of making some more PyTorch based or TensorFlow model based content. If that's something you want to see, let me know. Okay, so you can join our Discord if you haven't already. I'm going to put this in the chat. If you aren't following me on YouTube, that's this, YouTube at Rob Mulla, which I will put here. Wait, I should put this here. And you can follow me on Twitter and all the other socials. I think I'm going to change my Twitch username to something a little bit more associated with my name other than instead of Medallion Stallion, which was fun to have for the first few years, but I think I'm going to change it up. So be on the lookout for that. But if you are not following me on Twitch, I'm going to put that link here also. Sure, some deep learning content would be very helpful. Yeah, the hard part is just making it simple because there's so many moving parts with training a deep learning model, and it takes a lot of practice. But yeah, I need to add that to the list of what to be doing. What time will you be streaming, Rob, in your daytime, which should be afternoon, night for me? So if it's like 10 a.m. EST to noon EST, that would be, I'm not sure what time zone that would be for you, but we can Google it. All right. Thanks everyone for hanging out. What I'm going to do now actually is I'm going to go to, these are time zones, EST. Let's go to Twitch and do a raid. Coding with strangers. Okay. Nick Wan.
This guy got pumped.
Oh, he's not coding. He's doing
Wow, this game is so fucking fast because everyone has these,
team
like,
fight tactics. That looks fun.
Tell me something. When we got to this point,
who do we want to raid? Coding with strangers or Chrissy Codes? Chrissy Codes has a lot of people already watching her right now. So let's raid Coding with Strangers.
In a better place.
He's funny. He never fails to entertain. Love this guy. Always join at the end. Hey, you can watch on YouTube. I usually repost these, so join me there. All right, let's do a raid. And I will see you guys
Oh, that's cute.
next time. So thanks for
Rocky,
sticking around.
Rocky.
And we will see you very soon. I promise.
Not like Rocky from the boxing movies, but Rocky from Rocky and Bullwinkle.
What's he talking about? Rocky and Bullwinkle?
All right. It says here.
Rating. All right. Bye, you.